Hey guys, welcome back to Break the Code. In the last episode, we learned how to create arrays and work with their values using indexes. Today, we're going to unlock some array methods. These are built-in tools that help us add, remove, and search through arrays easily. So let's get into it. The first method that we want to discuss is the push method, which adds a new item to the end of the array. So let's have a look at that and see how it works. We start by declaring a variable called fruits and assign it the following array: apple and banana. Now we call the array and then we attach to it the push method like so, and then you want to add here a string, for instance, orange. And what this will do when we console log, so that's console log, the array fruits, we now see in the result that we have orange. So orange was added to the end of the array. So we pushed orange, the string orange, to the end of the array, and that's how we ended up with orange here after banana. So now let's move to the pop method, which removes the last item from the array. So we call fruits, so this is the array, then we attach to it the pop method. Now when we console log fruits, we will see that orange now is gone. So what the pop method did, it looked at the last item in the array, which is orange, and then simply got rid of it. It popped it out. So this is why after popping the last item in the array, which was orange, we ended up with apple and banana only when we console logged fruits. Now let's explore the unshift method, which adds to the beginning of the array. So let's have a look at that. We call fruits the array, then with dot notation, we call the unshift method. And then what we want to do is basically we want to add a string, grape. Then if we console log fruits, we get grape, apple, and banana. So again, remember the latest version of the fruits array was apple banana before we made this change. So we started with the fruits array containing apple and banana. Then we pushed orange to it. We ended up with this array here, apple, banana, and orange. Then we popped out the last item, which was orange. So now we're here. Okay, apple and banana. So this is our array. We took this array and then using the unshift method, we added to the start of the array the string grape. And you can see here that when we console logged fruits, we have grape here right at the beginning, followed by what we had earlier in the array, which is apple and banana. So this is what the unshift method does. Now, the shift method does the opposite of the unshift method, and it basically removes the first item from the array. So let's have a look at that. We have the array fruits. Now we want to shift. In other words, we want to remove from the beginning, from the start of the array, the first item. So when we console log the fruits array, we're going to get apple and banana. So again, with the shift method, we got rid of the first item in the array, which is grape. So when we console logged fruits, we now have apple and banana, and grape is gone. Now let's check if the array includes a certain value, which is super useful for search. And we do this in JavaScript with the includes method. So let's console log the fruits array. Then we want to attach to it the includes method. And here we want to pass a string, apple. And we see that we're getting true. That's because apple that we're searching for is indeed contained within the fruits array at the moment. However, if we search for something else, let's search for kiwi, we're gonna get false. That's because kiwi at the moment is not included in the fruits array. Now let us try to find the index of an item in an array. So the way we do that is we want to console log, then we start with the array, dot notation, indexOf, and what do we want to find the index of what here? Let's try to find the index of banana. What we get is 1. This is why, if you remember, in the last episode we explained that arrays are 0 indexed. So apple is at location 0 and banana is at location 1. This is why when we are console logging fruits.indexOf banana, we're gonna get 1. Now if we are trying to do the same for an item that is not currently available in the array, we're gonna get -1. So while here we got 1 as a result, that's because the word banana at the moment is indeed at location 1 in the array and it's present in the array. Kiwi, on the other hand, is not present in the array at the moment, and therefore we get a -1. So whenever you get -1, this means that the word you're looking for is not currently in the array that you're searching, fruits. Okay, now let's comment everything out to clean the console and move to the practice exercise. So what I'd like you to do here is to create an array called books with 3 book titles. Then add a new book to the end of the array. Then remove the first book. Then check if Harry Potter is in the list. Then finally find the index of any book in the list. So pause the video now, have a go at it, and come back for the solution. Okay, so let's have a look now at how we could solve this. Let's declare a variable called books and assign it a few books, starting with 1984, then Dune, then Foundation. Of course, you can add here any books you want. So this takes care of the first item in the exercise. Let's now move to the second item, which is add a new book to the end of the array. Now remember, how do we add an item to the end of an array? We use the push method. So we take the array books, then attach to it the push method, and now we just want to push a new book to the array. Let's call it Sapiens. So if we console log books here, we now see we've got 1984, Dune, Foundation, and Sapiens, the book we just pushed. Now let's move to item 3 and remove the first book in the array. And remember, we do that with the shift method. So we take the books array, then attach to it the shift method. Okay, you have to call it like this. So you can see here, we just got rid of 1984, that book from the beginning of the array. So again, if we console log now books, we see that the books array now contains the following books: Dune, Foundation, and Sapiens. Now we move to the fourth item, which is to check if Harry Potter is in the list. So we do that by console logging the books, then we call the includes method here. And what we are searching for? Well, we are searching for a book called Harry Potter. And we get false, because indeed, Harry Potter is not currently in the books array. That's why we get false here. Then we move to the last item on the list, which is to find the index of any book in the list. So you choose which book. I'm gonna look for Dune. So I'm gonna do that this way, console log, then books, the array, then indexOf. And since we want to find out the index of the book Dune, we get 0. That's because Dune is currently in location 0 in the array, 0, 1, 2. Okay, awesome job, guys. Now you've got a set of tools to really work with arrays, adding, removing, and searching. Next time, we'll learn how to loop through arrays, which lets you repeat actions for every item in a list. If you liked this episode, make sure to subscribe and keep practicing. See you in the next one.